All right, thanks everybody for joining. My name is WICxAnnual. I am the Global Events Program Lead with Women in Cloud, and we are so excited to have you here with us today. Since this is a meeting format, you all have access to join with your camera. So I encourage all of you to go ahead and mute yourselves when you're not speaking so that it doesn't interfere with today's programming. But we have a lot to cover today. And I want to start with a question about, we really want to hear from you. What's your favorite way to learn? So you'll be learning a lot today and then also at the summit itself. So we want to make sure that we have a clear understanding about what's your favorite way to learn. Go ahead and share in the chat, and I'll have Veranda click to start a poll so we can see the votes that are coming through. So let's see what responses we're getting. Storytelling by doing, getting involved. Excellent. Taking notes. Fantastic. Great. So this is a really, the importance of the summit and all of our experiences at Women in Cloud is really very community focused. So a lot of this is going to be driven by your participation and engagement. So we want you guys to stay open, lots of exciting things coming your way. So speaking of what we're going to experience today, we're going to talk to you about the summit itself. We'll share the theme and a little sneak peek of the schedule and programming, some areas that we're going to be focusing on, topics and the like. And then we'll talk more about getting involved. I know that's why a lot of you are here too, to learn about how to participate as a speaker, advisor, sponsor, volunteer, or ambassador. So we have more about those opportunities as well. And then we'll talk about ticketing. We have a different format this year, two ways to get access. We'll talk a little bit about how you can sponsor. And then finally, we'll also share with you more about different things that are coming all through the year 2022. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Chaitra Vidulapalli. She's the president and co-founder of Women in Cloud, and she's going to share with us more about Women in Cloud and set the stage for the summit. Chaitra?
Thank you, Raisa, and thank you for all of you for joining. It's really a beautiful Friday, so really welcome. And the last year has been an amazing year as we have gone through it, because we were able to bring a very strong community together. So, and it's not a secret, right? The world we are going through is going through incredible transformation over the past couple of decades, but even more, it's really accelerated with the global pandemic, right? So if you think about the topics that we are looking at is COVID, climate change, economic recession, social justice reform, inclusivity, all these challenges are faced by all of us. So when we really look at the Women in Cloud, when we started that, we wanted to really create as a united front for all of us, a community that's really driven with purpose-driven leadership and also mission-rooted in human impact. And I think each one of us are experiencing in your own ways of what that transformation has been. But one of the things that we have really realized is the answer to solving all this one is right in front of us. And all of us are here and all of you are here to make that possible, because this kind of change happens only when you are in the center. And here we are here as we go through the next year transformation. We want to make sure you are part of the integral component. So at Women in Cloud, we are a community-led and economic development organization, and we are really taking collective action to create $1 billion in net new global economic access for women entrepreneurs by 2030 through partnerships with corporation, community leaders, and policymakers. And all of them are really united by the UN Sustainable Development Goals and really focused on job creation and sustainable access for women. So as we really think about the coming year, because the summit which really sets the stage for celebration of all the things we did together. And we make sure that the entire year we have a theme to go with. And these are all the brands who have really associated and represented and partner with us. And it's growing. So we are at 80 partners who are actively working with us, reaching, entire globe, and we are driving the impact. And I want to give kudos to a group of people yesterday, who have been working on an Empower Her Family. They were able to bring a nonprofit coalition. They were able to bring a university to partner with us and really unlock scholarship for making sure that the entire, continent of India is having a full access for digital skilling and scholarship and certification and economic access, especially jobs. So really kudos to them. And the press release went out, and I can say is this is what a collective front looks like. But before we go there, I want how many of you are new here today? Like first time you're hearing about Women in Cloud, just say, yes, I'm one, or just say +1. So I know that you're new to the Women in Cloud ecosystem. If you are new, I want to take you through how the journey went, and then we'll talk about the summit itself. Okay, so we have few people. So let's talk about the journey. It started in 2018, and it was done on a piece of napkin. And we were looking at is why isn't inclusion happening in creation of jobs by women creating tech solutions in the enterprise sector? And it was just a coffee conversation looking at how do we shift it? And that's where the big narrative of $1 billion came in. And as we set the big, huge narrative, like it's a 10-year strategy, we started with hosting our first summit, which is like the beginning of the movement. And it was only for 35 people to 50 people, but we had 450 people who showed up and showed that this is an important one. And I know Stacy was there, a couple of other people today are here who started from the day one. And when we walked in, that was the day we realized this is an important topic we definitely need to work on. We cannot have 1% or 2% representation. So that one, how the beginning of Women in Cloud started, that is where even whatever we needed to announce, we wanted to announce it. It was written on a piece of napkin. Then we started with is the collective access. That was our first theme. Really wanted to make sure we create access for each other. The next year we went on creating collective action, making sure that we are taking action together. And this year was all about collective power. So all the work that we are doing really focuses a lot on collective power. But as we go into the 2022, the theme will be collective influence. So that's the theme. And we are focusing on the 23 theme, and we will be working very closely with you. So think about this as a movement. And I want all of us to visualize an image that 10 years from now, that is 2030, that we are at UN, all of us, and we can say we are the force that created $1 billion of economic access for each other, and our representation mattered, our voice mattered. So the summit for us is a very integral component. So I want each one of you to know it's a 3-day event going to be in January, and I'm really excited. All of you are going to join us. It'll focus a lot on the collective influence, infinite access for each one of you as you get involved. The more you get involved, the more access you get. That's kind of the premise of how we work. This one is you have to work hard, and we work hard, and that's when we create an infinite access for each other for growth and influence. And the way we are really thinking about this particular event is focusing as a 3-day, and it's a milestone year for us where we celebrate as a collective. We will have powerful voices from our community talking about how we address the AI, the gender inclusivity. How do we think about job creation? How do we think about the workforce development? How do we really accelerate the entrepreneurial spirit in each one of us? And our concept is going to be the constellation of people coming together. They will act as like eternal beacons in the night sky, where we are lighting up the world with leaders who continue to inspire, empower, and transform the change makers that are igniting the $1 billion of economic opportunity for women. So in that particular journey, I would love each one of you to collaborate with us, participate with us, represent yourself to really ignite the change that we are seeking. So the way the themes are going to be is focused on 5 areas based on what the community has said. One is professional development. A lot of focus is around leadership and allyship. So we will have a lot of boot camps and interesting stuff, which Raisa will come and talk about it. Second one is really the workforce development, because there is a big need in cybersecurity, cloud, AI, and it's like around 8 to 10 million people that we need to get them into the tech industry. So a lot of the work will focus on tech skilling, the soft skilling, and a lot of talent recruitment that we will emphasize. The third one is the entrepreneurial piece, is how do you strategically partner with companies, whether it's hyperscalers or a regular tech company? How do you go about it? How do you co-sell, co-market, co-build with them? A lot of demand generation to access customers or secure customers, and really focus a lot on the co-selling strategies. Then we are focusing on the policy advancement this year, the coming year. We will be emphasizing, because most of the leaders were focused on healthcare and public health. So right now, I think they're all coming out and thinking about economic development. So we'll focus a lot around the AI, supplier, and cyber related policy work. So if you have any inclination to change any policies, this is the place to kind of get your voice raised and say, I want to be involved. And then youth, I would say the girls in our ecosystem, we want to get them into the STEM opportunities. So we'll focus on internship and mentorship opportunities. So that will be our core themes of the annual summit. So my question to all of you is, do you like the themes for the summit and also the topics that we will be focusing on? Say yes in the chat for me. Okay, fantastic. So with that, I'm going to do one single experiment. We want to get to 10,000 followers on LinkedIn today. We are only 35 people who's ready to make that possible. So at the end of this session, we should meet the 10,000 number, and together we celebrate as a collective influence and collective power. Is that good? Okay, so the LinkedIn link is there. So Raisa, I'm going to give the baton to you, and thank you for being there with us today.
Thank you so much, Chai, for setting the stage on what to expect. I'm loving the comments in the chat in response to what Chai shared about, the theme and our intention behind the summit. So now I'm going to talk to you about the different elements that that will come together to make this experience really one where you can engage. So those of you that are familiar with Women in Cloud, you know that it's all very community-based. So there's lots of networking, focused discussions at roundtables, skill building workshops, hands-on labs. We're going to bring in some of our regular stuff with keynotes and thought leadership power panels. And then we're also going to have a special award ceremony, the Cloud Accelerator graduation, and our Cloud Innovator Global Pitch Challenge. So lots to come at that summit, and all in 3 days. So we really want you to take part there, and you'll learn the way that we have the agenda set up for these 3 days is it's very focused, and it allows for breaks so that you can follow specific tracks that are of interest to you. You can attend everything, with the access that you get. The ticketing that we've done this year is very simple. So one ticket actually gets you access to every single thing that's a part of the WIC Annual Summit for 2022. So as you can see here, I mentioned we'll start with, plenaries, keynotes. We have the allyship awards happening on our kickoff day, January 26th, and we'll have a WIC town hall. Then we're going to do power talks and have those other experiences I mentioned, workshops, hands-on labs, and other sessions where you can meet folks like the Cloud Leader Circle Intro Hub. and our Cloud Jobs Diverse Recruiting Lounge. We have a leadership boot camp. So lots of immersive experiences throughout the days. And you'll notice here, we do also have some, the closing of the summit, which is going to be on the 29th. So that's where we're going to have lots of fun and celebrations. We'll have a happy hour and share the impact that's been experienced. And we're going to do our youth session on that day as well, so that more of the youth in STEM community can participate. So all of that, as I mentioned, is included as a part of WIC Annual Summit 2022. So here's how you can get involved. There are 5 different ways that you can participate at the summit. So there's opportunities to be a speaker, there's sponsor opportunities, advisor opportunities, volunteer opportunities, and ambassador opportunities. So I'm going to share with you what each of those means, right? What falls under that, the gives and gets, and what you can look forward to. Then I'll have Feranda share in the chat a participation interest form. So that's where you will share your initial interest about how you want to participate. So let's talk about speaker involvement. So as a speaker, you get to be showcased on a main stage. We're going to have WIC Power Talks this year, which are going to be pre-recorded talks around specific topics. So they'll fall under the key themes that Chai mentioned earlier. And so curated topics that will fall under those themes. And we'll have Tucker Stein join us in another couple minutes to share how you should think about really shaping those power talks. Really, it's going to be pre-recorded, no more than 12 minutes. Think of sharing a really bold idea with the community. And you'll have access to all of this information after the session as well, so that you can refer back to it and look in more detail. So as an advisor, what that means is that you facilitate a roundtable discussion during one of the live sessions at WIC Summit. So at the summit, we have a leadership track, for example. So we would have roundtable discussions on leadership-focused topics where you would lead, you as an advisor would lead a small group discussion for about 30 to 45 minutes, really helping to create access and have a discussion, a focused discussion with those that join your table. That's one of the key experiences at our summit that lots of people look forward to. And then as a sponsor, we have 2 different types of sponsorship, and I'm going to invite my colleague, Erin Northern, to come up now and share a bit about that. So Erin, do you want to come on and share a little bit about the sponsor involvement?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Raiza. So we are going to have 2 different types of options to get more involved. We have a new one that we're debuting, and that one of them is that one's going to be the annual partnership. So we'll still have event-specific session sponsorship opportunities, but we're introducing an annual partnership that would allow you all-inclusive access to WIC signature events and the Fortune 100 Lunch and Learn. So that includes complimentary tickets to all of these events, being more involved in our professional development workshops, participating in the policy coalitions around AI ethics, and speaking and advisory opportunities, talent recruitment at our Cloud Jobs Recruitment Lounge, brand amplification, of course, and special invites to our executive dinners that we'll be hosting for more in-person networking opportunities throughout the year, and podcast speaking positions and more. And then the second option is to do what we've always offered, which is more event-specific partnerships. So having a dedicated session to sponsor brought to you by your company. That would obviously include some complimentary tickets, brand amplification, of course, some speaking and advisory opportunities, and then, of course, opportunities for our Cloud Jobs Recruitment Lounge to get more involved and recruit some qualified candidates from our pool. And if you guys are interested, we're asking to submit your interest by December 23rd, so we can get you ready and in our system and ready to go for January 26th.
All right, thank you, Erin. Thank you so much for sharing on that. Now I'm going to share a little bit more about some other ways you can get involved. So volunteer participation. So this is another way that you can participate at the WIC Summit. And we ask that you submit your interest there by November 30th, because we do use the remote virtual event platform. So we want to make sure that you are prepared and know how to engage and all of the different sub opportunities that come as being a part of the volunteer team at WIC Summit. So I know we have some people in here that have participated in that way in the past, and I hope they would share that the experience was a great one for them, that helped to open up and expand their network, gave them lots of opportunities to join and meet people. Then finally, we are having this year ambassador involvement. So what that means is those of you that are a part of the WIC Digital Network, or even new folks to the WIC Digital Network, will track your status in the digital network. And your goal as an ambassador would be to invite people to join and achieve either a bronze, silver, or gold status by January 15th, 2022. So we'll share more information on how to do that specifically, but you can, again, submit your interest in if that's something you want to be a part of that program. And then we ask our ambassadors as well to submit a guest blog post. So as a part of that, you get to write up a blog post. We'll have someone from our WIC team work with you to craft it before it goes live, and you'll be showcased as a WIC ambassador and get invitations to when we have executive dinners as well, to again help to expand your network. And you'll get complimentary annual subscription to the WIC signature events all through 2022.
So let me share some few things in the ambassador one. And we have been experimenting with the ambassador work for the last 2-3 years, and never really landed in a place that was meaningful for each one of you. And after talking to many of the community members, we realized that they all wanted an exclusive status. That is the one. That means they've worked hard for it and they're putting an effort and they want to do it. And I know there are many of it. If you look at Akila, Stacy, others, they have really done a spectacular work. And even Michelle Pruitt, like they have worked so hard in making our community really rich on the digital network. So we said, let's leverage that instance. Then also have the ability for their voice to be represented. So we have the blogging platform. You will always be invited to speak, so you don't never have to worry about it. But also an ambassador work is also to bring the sponsors and partners to us so that you become our extension of the team. And at the end of the day, this is a collective work and it changes the way we perceive. But the way we are looking at the ambassador work is really making sure that in different cities and countries, as the world is opening out of COVID, you get to host and put an executive dinner together. And that will be very powerful because you get to expand your network. It will help you create that collective influence. So I'm asking each one of you that if there's one goal you can take for this year, is try to become that ambassador. That's why the goals are so high, because you have to put in that effort, because through that effort, you're learning the skill of building your network. And that is what the reason for this ambassador work has been put together. Is that helpful for everyone? Sometimes it feels very stretched, but sometimes that is the place where we are uncomfortable and you're trying to do something uncomfortable. That is where the biggest growth comes from. Okay, cool. Yes, Akila, great to see you get to gold. We will be very excited there. Okay, Raisa.
All right, thanks, Chai. So remember, as a part of the brand ambassador program, you do have to sign up to start it. So in the participation form that you'll receive, we'll get your interest if you want to participate in the ambassador program, so that we can recognize your starting status in the WIC Digital Network and see your growth to bronze, silver, or gold there. But more information to follow after you submit your participation interest for any of the areas that we just spoke about. So with that, I'm going to go on to the next piece. And again, I know Fernanda is posting that link to the form in the chat. And I'll show you actually before we do move on, I want to show you how the form is laid out. So the participation form here is what you'll receive. You just have to enter a few pieces of information about yourself and then identify what area of interest or areas you would be interested in. So say, for example, you choose that you would like to be a speaker. So that would unlock another specific question around the area of interest. And then we go into asking about, what motivates you? What does collective influence mean to you? And then you can recommend someone from your network that you think should be a part of Women in Cloud and that community. And then just a couple more questions about, what's the hardest thing that you're facing professionally in 2021? And the reason for that is because we really want to hear what you have to say. Your voice matters here in Women in Cloud. So we want to understand how we can continue to help you grow professionally through leadership all through the next year. So next, I'm going to hand it over to Tucker Stein. He is a brand architect, a master storyteller, and our resident speaker coach. And he's going to share with you a little bit about what are the WIC Power Talks that I mentioned earlier. So those, and then also thinking about the stories that are developed and talking about how you participate. So Tucker, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Raisa. So good to be here again. I think somebody said it perfectly. This is my favorite time of the year. I love the end of January because I know the WIC Summit is coming, and I love the speaker curation and speaker development. That's my favorite part of it. That's what lights me up every year. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going to happen this year specifically with the WIC Power Talks. And Raisa, if you could put that slide up real quick. I will talk a little bit about what we're looking for. Excellent. So in the WIC Power Talks, think TEDx meets South by Southwest meets women technology leaders. It's an opportunity to really look at the way speakers show up for the world in a very different way. We're not specifically looking for speakers to be pitching or selling from stage. That's not what this is all about. This is really rooted in thought leadership. You're going to be able to pick a focus topic, which is exactly what we're looking for. We don't want to stay at 30,000 feet. We really want to bring everybody back down to earth with specific ideas, and most importantly, create intentional action. We want every single listener, participant, attendee to be able to listen to what you have to say in 12 minutes or less and walk away knowing that they can participate in some way, shape, or form that's going to either impact themselves, their community, their organization, their family, their lives in any way possible. It's about building collective experience. Collective influence is our theme this year. So what is it about your own personal stories, your personal experiences? How do you bring storytelling into the art of building these talks out? So we're really excited that we're going to do this again this year. They are pre-recorded. One of the things that I wanted to mention is that 70% of our community, after we polled them, specifically asked for a warm introduction and the value of human connection. So when we think about the value of human connection, what are you going to do in your talk that inspires action, connectivity, networking, that's going to support leaders, entrepreneurs, mentors, any or all of the above? You're going to have an awesome opportunity to reposition yourself as a thought leader in this space and not just a speaker. So if you have any questions, please let us know, but I'm really excited to be a part of this again this year. And with that, I will hand it back over to Raisa to continue the event.
All right, thank you so much, Tucker. So how many of you got what you were really looking for from what Tucker had to share? Again, it's really important that that you consider these ideas and how to focus your conversations and your talks for the WIC Annual Summit, because that allows more impactful, engaging, and result-driven content. Really, again, all focusing on that collective influence. So with that, you've heard me mention
and Raisa,
earlier.
there was one more thing, like there's a question out there is, do we have examples of the past talk topics? Yes, Michelle, we do have a lot of examples of it. We are looking for tech talks. We are looking for business. We are looking for leadership. We are looking for skilling. It can be as simple as LinkedIn profiling, how to be successful in LinkedIn. Think about you as a person, if you can add value, and think about why people come to you. There may be a place where they'll say, Michelle, can you help me with this stuff? And you're an expert in that space. And that is the topic you should be talking about, because the passion already comes through it, because you know your topic. And usually my question to people is like, what should I talk about? I said, if I give you 20 minutes and you have no preparation, what topic you will talk about? For me, it'll be spices, cooking. I can talk about that all night long and I can bore you to death. But that's kind of the way you need to think about if there is a specific topic that ignites you from inside, because then that is the topic everyone will gravitate and you will be one step closer to doing your TED Talk. Is that helpful?
Very helpful. One more thing I'll add is I often say, how are you going to help us awaken the unexpected? So little things that don't normally maybe have, don't seem to have a lot of value can actually create a lot of value for somebody else. I literally listened to a talk last week on, and I've been practicing this now with all of my clients. What does your background in your Zoom say about you? I had a whole talk about that, right? And it turned into leadership development, networking, best business practices, all from what's behind you in your Zoom. So think about it from that perspective. Little things like that can go a long way.
Thank you, Tucker. Yes, Raisa, you can go.
I love that. You guys really helped bring it all together. So thank you so much for adding that color to it. So I want to talk a little bit now about, we've been mentioning the advisory piece as well. So we do have opportunities for advisors to host roundtable discussions. So those of you that were with us way back when we were still doing in-person things, we had what we used to call Cloud Exec Connect. This time we're having Cloud Leader Circle Intro Hub. And then we also do roundtable discussions after each of our primary tracks, such as leadership or business focused roundtable, even AI ethics is something that we sometimes include. So at these roundtable discussions, we have the predetermined or the themes, right, such as leadership or business. And then we provide about 5 subtopics that you can choose from. So if you're interested in being an advisor, you'd have to fill out a brief form where you identify which subtopic you're most passionate about speaking to. And then the real intention of these conversations, as I mentioned earlier, they're about 30 to 45 minutes long, depending on which track it's a part of. And the goal is to unlock professional power and thinking of it through a lens of ideas, relationship building, business development, and exploration of opportunities. So your role as an advisor or roundtable facilitator, as we also call it, is to facilitate a meaningful conversation with the attendees in your small group. It's never any more than about 6 people joining you at your table and really enabling them with give and get access. So the same things to consider, many attendees will come and join for with their questions about how they can get advice from you. So that is what your role would be as an advisor that would be leading a roundtable discussion. Okay. And we'll be sure to open up for questions in just a bit, but I want to keep moving so we're on track and talk to you a bit about the event ticketing. So this year, as I mentioned, it's going to be a little bit different. Very, very simple. So we have 2 versions. One is Summit only, and Summit only is $149. It unlocks all of the elements of the WIC Summit. You get digital workbook, digital swag, all of the networking, programming, immersive learning sessions, talks, all of that over the 3-day event, which is really all of the, also the events on our closing day too, on the 29th. Then the other version that we have is the annual subscription. Now, I know you all will be very happy to hear about this. So for just $249, as a part of the annual subscription, you will get access to over 20 events and all of WIC signature events, all of the Fortune 100 Lunch and Learn sessions, and all of our acceleration workshop series that's being that happens monthly as well. So you get access to so much, all of that programming for just a simple upgraded price of $249. So that's a value of $600 there.
So one of the, thanks Reza for setting the stage. Here are the reason why we actually had to pull together an annual subscription. One of the requests from the community was we want to be engaged throughout the year and we want to be deeply engaged. And this year we are getting into collective influence. So we need a group of people. I would say 1,000 is a number for creating massive movement. And when you show up in those numbers, any change, policy, any innovation, anything can change. So I'm looking for, and the entire WIC community is looking for that particular group of people who can make massive changes over the next 2-3 years. And the annual subscription allows us to put a real program manager to support each one of you as we go through the whole year. So it's not just we are looking for funding, we are looking for the funding to have the right program manager helping us create a tribe, which is our superpower as a human being, create that super tribe, which can make changes in the legislation, make the changes in the way things are happening in the ecosystem, and also create the impact that we are seeking. So that's why I would love each one of you to consider if you are thinking about it, or bring a company who's ready to underwrite you. So that way we are a unit and a powerful unit that we will create. And that was the intention for that. And I just want to have each one of you know why we are doing that, because we need the programming to keep that going for a long term. And this particular work is required. And that's why we have put an annual sponsorship for the events. Okay.
All right, thanks so much, Chai. So I hope that you all are still getting a lot out of all to expect, and the sneak peek is proving quite valuable for you. So next I want to actually invite Erin Northern to come up again and give a little bit more information, more detail on the sponsorship elements at Women in Cloud. So welcome, Erin. I'll hand it back over to you.
Thank you, Reza. Yeah, so for the sponsorships, we are offering 3 different levels. Reza, will you pull that slide up for me? So we are offering 3 levels. We don't have all of the details for you. We want to give them to you a little bit at a time. So if you are, if you're interested, or you know a company who might be interested, we're offering these 3 sponsorship levels. So the lowest level would be the Igniter level. We have some really cool names this year. So we have the Igniter level for $5,000. It would include tickets, brand amplification, of course, is always included, an advisor opportunity, and then a video interstitial. So it'd be a pre-recorded video interstitial that we would feature during the summit. And we would obviously give you guys a little bit more details in regards to what the topic would be and how long you would have to pre-record yourself. The second level is the activator level for $15,000. So it is a session sponsorship. It'd be this session is brought to you by this company. It includes tickets, speaker position, and advisor positions for those within your organization, and a pre-recorded video interstitial as well. The third is called the influencer. So it's a $25,000 investment. It'd be, again, another session sponsorship. However, on top of what you would get for the activator, you would also get a podcast feature. Being more involved in the WIC talks, you'd have a feature there, branding, amplification, and then a little bit more executive networking that we would highly curate for you as well. There is a fourth we haven't included, but we always do offer a title sponsorship. So that's called the Change Maker. And we're letting companies know it will be a customized sponsorship. So it includes most of what you see here, but sometimes certain companies have specific objectives that they would like. And so we want to keep that open for discussion.
All right, thank you so much, Erin. So everyone, we're going to open it up for a little bit of Q&A in just a moment, but I want to hear from you. How many of you are super excited to expand your network and meet new people, have conversations around new ideas at WIC Annual Summit? Put a +1 in the chat. Yes, yes, yes. All right, Nicole is ready. I know that. Excellent, excellent. So thanks so much, everyone. I want to share with you an opportunity for how you can get connected with leaders that are actually already a part of our Cloud Leader Circle, even before the summit happens. So this is there was an ask of our community when we recently did our 2021 COVID-19 economic impact report. And one of the biggest requests was, as Tucker mentioned, introductions to leaders for advisory discussion. So think of like moment in time advice. So I'll have Faranda share in the chat the link where you can take a part in Get Introduced. And what this is a platform where our Cloud Leader Circle has raised their hand to connect, network, and provide advice to create economic opportunities. So this is a little bit deeper than just finding someone on LinkedIn and saying, hey, I saw you at this event. Really, you would be posing a clear ask, a really tangible question, actionable, to the leaders that we have listed, and they have a little info card where you can learn more about them and how they can best support you and what they can advise on. So join and start today at intro.womenincloud.com, and that's how you can start requesting warm introductions to leaders in the tech industry. All right, how many of you have used Get Introduced already so far? Let us know in the chat. Okay, so now I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to invite Chaitra to come up with me, and let's get some questions and open it up for Q&A. So we want to hear from you. If you have any questions, we'll take about 10 minutes to answer those questions that you may have.
Here is my philosophy. A community that doesn't have questions, their voice is not represented. So you have to ask questions if you want your voice to be represented. So take a moment, don't be shy, just ask whatever is there. We want to make sure we are creating an experience for you and for collective us.
Hey, Chaitra and Riza, this is Michelle Pruitt. I'll ask a quick question. So I'm obviously invested in Women in Cloud. I'm really excited about the summit that's coming up. And so I do want to explore what are those opportunities. And you might have talked about this, but what is the follow-up? So let's say I'm interested in, submitting myself with a topic. How am I going to know how unique that is? And, what is the process so that I'm not duplicating perhaps or very close to what someone else is doing?
So Michelle, great question. And the way you do is you put in your participation request of what you are looking for. We will follow up with you, and then Tucker and the rest of the team in the back, they're looking for it and making sure that there's no duplicate. There is real value of the content that's created, whether it's a talk, whether it's a leadership circle, or it's a panel. We go to events where it feels like everything looks like the same. This wouldn't be there. There will be a deep output that will come from each one. And if you are trying to figure out, I don't know, I don't have a clarity, That's where Tucker will come, and there are group sessions that will help you get to your superpower and how that superpower can change someone's life. Really, a transformation content is what we are focused on. Did I answer your question?
You did. Thank you.
Cool.
Great, thanks. I see-
Chitra.
Oops,
Oh,
sorry,
okay.
Karen. Yeah, I was just
Yeah,
about to
can
say.
I'll jump in with the question. Are some tech learning topics also of interest in addition to the development topics, such as something on cybersecurity or AI or cloud?
Yes.
As a panel or a speaker, are these topics we should submit?
Yes, you should. So there's already topics on like tech workshops that we want to do, tech talks, right? The tech power talks we want to do. So I would like each one of you, whether you're a technical, you have business, you have leadership, go ahead and submit multiple topics so that we know where we can fit in, because you may be able to talk in multiple topics. So when Riza will send you a speaker request form, there are 3 topics. So make sure you put in your title of the topic and an abstract, and that will give us a very clear idea of which angle you're looking at. But definitely the tech topics have to be there because this is a tech event.
Excellent. Great question, Karen, and great question, Michelle. I see that someone asked earlier as well, Akila asked if it's going to be virtual, hybrid, or in person for 2022. That's an awesome question. So we will be primarily virtual. We may have 1 or 2 experiences or some location-specific experiences that are in person in very small groups, but more info on that later. You know, things change month to month, so we're keeping hope alive to meet in person, but it will be primarily virtual this year. So you can be bottom half in yoga pants if you'd like.
And there's
so
also
I see that.
yeah,
Carolyn, oh, sorry, go on, Chai.
go ahead. That's fine.
Okay. I see Carolyn has her hand raised. Carolyn, did you have a question?
Yes, I have a question. Good morning. Good morning, Jerry. This is Carolyn from the IMCP Microsoft Channel Partners. So hello, good morning. So I have a passion for helping businesses know how to get the community, underserved community, individuals who are looking for work, you know, to show them the path to technology, whether it's cybersecurity, AI, or what have you. And I, you know, it's not so much as, you know, of course, not so much as supporting my company, but making sure that I provide some guidance on how do we show them the path, the educational path, whether it's certifications or what have you, to understand Azure, understand AWS, understand AI, understand on-prem versus cloud, and sometimes just the basic computer literacy. So I have a passion for that, and I'm wondering how I can help this year with, you know, Women in the Cloud for the Summit. And, you know, my company is Zip and Go Assist, and I work for Memorial Care Health Systems. Also want to teach something about understanding how to manage software license compliance, HIPAA compliance, things like that, so that just to give fundamentals, because a lot of it is, I believe I heard how we're way up way up. We got to bring things back down to a ground level where folks understand fundamentals. So that's my passion, and I do that, you know, I do it well, but I want to be able to do that without saying, hey, I want to be a sponsor, or I want to, you know, get attention to my company. My focus is, how can I help other companies reach out into their community, bring some diverse talent in, and some of those that may have not graduated from college, but you can see that they have potential there. So that's my question.
A great question, and I think great perspective too. So thank you for taking time to go through it. Here is my suggestions, and then we can get to a recommendation once we get through it. I would say is the idea of helping companies recruit people from the underserved community is a fantastic idea. Not many people know how to go about. That can be a talk by itself. The other thing is people who are looking for jobs in the tech industry. That can be another interesting topic, because that is, how do you find your career choice and how do you go about it? So I would say submit both the ideas. If there are no duplicates, then you can do both the talks, right? At the end of the day, this is a topic that we need to create momentum on, because everyone's perspective matters. Because you never know that one person who heard it, their life changed because you said something so valuable and they immediately took action. So we want to make sure we are well represented as an ecosystem so we can touch every lives possible on the planet.
Awesome. Will do. Will
And
do. Thank you so much, Sharda.
And don't be afraid when you're submitting ideas, because if we get, consensus on something, it may spark a panel or a larger discussion. So not only you're doing a power talk, but you could do a panel or a roundtable, or so feel free to not just share one idea, but multiple ideas so that we can get consensus from the entire community.
I have a comment.
Yeah, please, Nicole, go ahead. Sorry.
So I'll give you an example of a statement that Chai made that influenced me. So we were at a conference and she was hacking. She kept saying, I have a hack for this, I have a hack for this. But then she said, you're 6 contracts away from $1 million. And I was like, well, maybe I'm not, but she's real confident. So I immediately booked my hotel. Like after she finished her talk, I immediately booked my hotel and I bought my ticket. This was like October, either 2018 or 2019. And I found, I was just thinking about this, but almost pretty much every month since that conversation, I've been able to use that statement that she made and turn it around. Like you might be 6 contacts away from the person you need to meet, or you might be 6 ideas away from a great idea, or you might be 6 decisions away from doing something that changed your life. And like every single month, I'm always talking about women in cloud, no matter what event I'm at. And that's mainly because she made that statement and she was talking about her passion about hacking things so that she could fix and make changes. So even though I don't have all the tech yet, I find myself constantly pursuing, trying to get more information, trying to take more classes, and try to recruit people to come to Women in Cloud, because I think the first year I did volunteer, and the second year I was like, oh, there's so much I missed because so much is going on. I'm not going to volunteer, but then I did volunteer. It's like I really look forward to it because of that one statement she made, that you already have it in you. You just need to figure out how your connection, and you don't have to think of things so big that you can't reach them. It's like within your reach if you take small bites, I guess.
Thanks,
I have
Nicole.
something
Such an
to,
inspiring story. Yes, Vishaka.
So regarding me, okay. So I don't know, somehow I landed at the Women in Cloud Network, and that time it was November last year. And I attended, I don't know, the universe conspired is the best thing I can say about Women in Cloud Network. It was 5:30 a.m. in India when the meeting was hosted, and I don't know, I stayed awake for the night. I was too enthusiastic to attend that meeting. And then that was the preparation of WIC event 2021. And I don't know what was that energy that led me, like after that, there was not even a single meeting that I did not attend for the summit, which had me end up as the brand ambassador for the summit. And then now I am the proud gold ambassador. So during the summit, I won a course on executive presence. Okay. And I have been teaching executive presence across the globe. After that, yesterday actually, I had a session for US. It is today itself, at the day of security on executive presence. So that is the beauty and power of Women in Cloud Network. I became a specialist of something I won from this network. And now people call me, invite me to talk executive presence at their platforms. And I am monetizing that. I don't know, that was a blessing in disguise. Just one meeting, I had the audacity to lose my sleep to that. I don't know why. I still have no answer, no clue. But then my life changed. I met so many beautiful people because of Women in Cloud. And I only grew after that. There has been no looking back ever since in life. And I don't know, there are many communities which come and go in my life, but I wish to stay connected to Women in Cloud till the end of my time, because this is power of collective influence. So that's about my journey so far.
Thank you, Vishaka. Thank you, Nicole, for inspiring all of us to take that one micro step, one action, and you're literally 6 to 7 steps away. So I'll say 6 steps away from your vision and your mission that you're here. And then I have Karen basically said, how do I get the speaker? First is submit your participation interest. Then we'll take it from there. We'll reach out to you. We'll get you engaged. I'm asking each one of you to really stretch yourself to become the speaker this year. It's hard. It's hard. It took me 10 years to get on the stage. And after that is honing in and really making the craft of speaking and the craft of communication right. So take a micro step, but really put this goal, and we are here for you, because for collective influence, every voice matters. So with that, Raisa, I'll give you the baton. And I think we are 1 minute away from close. Hopefully we answered most of the questions for you.
Thank you so much. I mean, wow, the comments and feedback you all shared, the questions, the engagement from all of you really expresses what we said at the beginning, that this is really all about community. Your input, your contribution makes a huge difference to what we're all trying to do to create economic access and change the landscape, right? We're all change makers here. So we really love having you as a part of this community. Again, we'll be sure after this call to share with you the resources, the slides, the participation interest form, so you can get started, and then we'll send you some more information. So just a couple more things before we close. I want to share with you briefly what's to come in 2022. We have lots to look forward to. We have the dates set for our 4 signature events. And then in addition to this, you know, we do have the WIC Fortune 100 Lunch and Learn series, which happens monthly, along with our acceleration workshop series, which is going to be a new series rolling out in 2022, where we focus on business and leadership workshops. So immersive learning sessions there. So excited for all of that. So you'll see lots of this this content throughout 2022. I mentioned the monthly workshops, the Lunch and Learn with Fortune brands. Those of you that have participated or applied to attend before, we've had IBM, Hitachi Solutions, Accenture, Google, and many more, and Boeing, all participate there, and we have more companies participating in the future. So that's going to be happening, our 4 signature events. We'll also be having a public policy coalition around AI, cyber, and policy, and then moving to some executive dinners where we can have some small group in-person experiences with discussion supporting the UN Sustainable Development Goals and gender inclusion in the tech industry. So again, thank you so much to each and every one of you for joining today. We'll be in touch with that participation form if you didn't get the chance to open it from the chat today. And after that, we'll send more information for how you can participate in those specific areas that most resonate with you. And continue to get involved with Women in Cloud. We encourage you to invite your network as well to join us on LinkedIn. We do also have the WIC Digital Network, where you can join, engage with the community, get early access and updates to special announcements, and contribute there as well. We also have the WIC newsletter, where you get exclusive access delivered directly to your inbox. So those are the ways you can get involved. And I want to again, thank everybody that supported from the Women in Cloud team to set this up and get us to an amazing spot to announce and unveil everything for WIC Annual Summit 2022. We are very excited. And thank you to Chai, Aaron, Ferranda, Tucker, Vinay, everybody from the Women in Cloud team that brought this to life. So wishing you a great weekend, everyone. Thank you so much for joining, and have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you more.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.